are not fulfilling it. So when the Britishers, okay, are not fulfilling it, so the people are getting the message that whatever the moderates and some of the leaders are demanding from the Britishers aren't fulfilling those things. So when the Britishers aren't fulfilling those things, that means that now the people were feeling that we should do something, because the moderates, whenever they did something, they never believed in the capacity of the masses. So they told political activity should only be done by the political leaders. So even their political activities was not having any fruitful result. So now the people were feeling very much disgruntled, and they were like, we need to do something. We need to put the pressure on the Britishers, and that pressure could only be possible when the masses put that pressure, like we did in Swadeshi and boycott. So the people were now feeling that pressure, that popular pressure should be put on the British. So the people wanted a political activity, and Home Rule League movement just gave them that option. Okay, Home Rule League movement, then it struck at that particular time. Okay, so that is one aspect. Moreover, these are the other aspects. Just read it up. I'll just sip water till that point of time. Just read it up, please. Read these points up. Read these points. So I hope you have read it. Now, this was the first aspect. Then later on when I talk, okay, the second aspect, it is going to be that there was increased wartime misery. So I have already explained to you that the war, the World War I, it is going to have a negative impact on the Indians. Okay, how come it had a negative impact? Because of the war, okay, there were certain negative impacts. The first one is that what happened is there was diversion of resources. So because of that diversion of resources, there was scarcity that was created in India. And when there was scarcity of products that was created in India, automatically what happened is that there is going to be increasing prices, okay, of the products, that led to increasing inflation. Moreover, what happened is that because of the war, the Britishers, what they did is, the Britishers, they wanted to fund their war. So that is why they started taxing heavily to the Indians. And because of those taxes, and if the Indians, they were unable to pay those taxes, the things were confiscated from the Indians. That was one thing. Moreover, because of the war, okay, there was trade disruptions. So because of trade disruptions, the industries and everything, they were negatively impacted. Moreover, because of the war, the industries, they are going to shut down, and because the industries shut down, there was rising unemployment, and that this rising unemployment led to increasing poverty. Okay, so the people's daily livelihood was also impacted, and when the people's daily livelihood was impacted, at that point of time, what happened is that the people were now feeling the idea that this war is not ours. Okay, this war is going to be of the Britishers. So why are we facing so much of issues? Okay, so the Indians, they wanted to tell the Britishers that stop it, it is not our war. Okay, why are you making us face your negative issues? Okay, and to make the Britishers, to make our voice reach the Britishers, political movement was required, and that political movement came in the form of Home Rule League. Moreover, there was destruction of the myth of racial superiority of Western nations over the Asian people. Okay, so many activities had happened at that point of time in the Western countries that clearly indicated that the Western people are not supreme. Okay, we also looked at this point in the rise of the extremists in the previous session, that there were many wars. For example, Japan defeated Russia, the Boer Wars. Okay, then there is going to be Ethiopia, it defeated the Italy. So the racial superiority of the Europeans, okay, it was generally, the myth was busted. Later on, there was disillusionment, means these are the points that are stating that why a home rule league movement was required. Okay, and what created a ground for the home rule league movement to happen. So war created a ground for the home rule league movement to happen. The feeling of popular pressure created a ground for the home rule league movement to started. The destruction of myth of racial superiority of the humans created a ground for the home rule league movement to start. Moreover, there was disillusionment with the Morley Minto reforms. Now what are the Morley Minto reforms? I had explained to you, right, prior to the Surat split. Okay, prior to the Surat split, in the year of 1907, the Britishers, they had told that we are bringing some reforms. Okay, and it is after that reforms that the moderates, they are going to not support the extremists, and that is when the Surat split is going to happen. So those reforms that were told in 1907, those reforms, they were brought in the year of 1909 with the name of Morley Minto reforms. Okay, Morley Minto reforms. So Morley and Minto, they are going to be the viceroy and the secretary of state at that point of time. So it is going to come under the name of Morley Minto reforms. So here the moderates, they always wanted certain reforms from the Britishers. Okay, and the Britishers told in 1907 that they will bring those reforms. However, when the Britishers brought those reforms in the year of 1909, we had demanded a Lamborghini. They gave us a Nano. Okay, they gave us a Maruti Suzuki. So Maruti Suzuki and Nano are also good. Okay, so do not just take it in the literal sense, just try to understand. So we demanded a Lamborghini, a Ferrari, and those people, they gave us a Nano. So it is basically like we demanded a Land Rover, Range Rover, and we got a cycle. So because of that, what happened is that now the moderates, they were also like, what are you guys British doing? We asked something, you are giving us something else. So we were disillusioned with this particular reforms also that were there. So we were very much mad. The moderates, they were very much mad at the Britishers, and that point of time, the moderates also felt, the Indians felt the need that we want a particular movement. Moreover, the war years, they were the year of intense nationalistic political agitation. That means that because of all these issues, the people were, united. Okay, why? Because when the Britishers were fighting the World War One, the negative impact of World War One was not only impacting North India or South India or West India or East India, it was impacting the whole of India. And at that point of time, although people belong to different geographical borders or different geographies, yet when the people of North India, South India, East India, West India, they faced the brunt of the World War One, at that point of time, they felt the pain of each other. They felt united because they now knew that there was a common oppressor, and that was the British. And because of it, there was the rise of nationalism, that is the rise of unity within the Indians. Okay, so that is why there was the intense nationalistic agitations that are going to be there. Moreover, during the World War One, when the World War One, my dear friends, it was being fought from the year of 1914 to 1918. Just keep this in mind. Okay, there were various. Okay, there were various sections. One is going to be the moderate, then the extremist, and then the revolutionaries. Okay, so the moderates, they demanded certain reforms. Means what happened is that the moderates, okay, they are going to support the British in the war for the pretext that the Britishers would give them certain of the reforms. Okay, so that was the idea. Then the extremists also supported the British under the context that after the war was over, the Britishers, they will give us what we demand, that is self-government. But there was the third section, that is revolutionaries. They did not support. Okay, and they wanted to utilize this opportunity to wage a war on the Britishers.